Hi everyone, this is Balázs from RacingBrick. I'm sure you hear this a lot, but today I'm going to show you a device that could actually be a game changer for LEGO customization. Stickers versus print is always a hot topic in the LEGO world. As we get more display sets that are meant to be built once and never touched again, people want to see more printed parts. As an old school LEGO builder, I see the advantage of prints, but I wouldn't want something like a heavily decorated Technic car fully printed. Why? Because those parts become much harder to reuse, which limits custom building. That's not a big issue for common parts, but if new mods or unique elements only come with prints, then it becomes a real problem. For example, if you remember the mudguard from the Porsche 911 RSR, that was the first mid-scale mudguard, but it only came in white with prints. You could remove the print with an eraser, but still, there was never an unprinted white version released. So, what if you could decide yourself which LEGO parts get printed and what goes on them? That's exactly what this machine promises to do. This is the eufyMake E1, a desktop UV printer that can print full-color graphics and even raise textures onto surfaces like plastic, metal, wood, glass and more. It's basically a 2.5D resin printer, meaning it can build up layers to create texture, not just flat images. So instead of using stickers, we might be able to print directly onto LEGO elements. And that's what I will actually try later in the video. I will try to print on all these items here. Before we dive in, full disclosure, this device and all the accessories were provided by eufyMake, and this video is sponsored by them. This is not a traditional product review. I accepted this opportunity because I was genuinely curious how a device like this could be used for LEGO customization. Custom printing services already exist, but having something like this at home, experimenting with your own designs, that's a very different level. Also worth noting, everything you will see here is purely for experimentation and personal use. I'm not selling any printed parts. This device originally launched on Kickstarter, but it's now in stock and ready to ship. Check the link below for a special launch price and $400 worth of limited time gifts. And just quickly before we start, this is a UV printer, so use it in a well ventilated area and follow the safety instructions. There is some smell during printing, so this is definitely not something you want running next to your desk all day. Alright, so let's go through the first experience. I skipped filming the full unboxing, but trust me, the box is massive and heavy. The E1 itself has a clean, modern design. It has an inventory sticker on top out of the box, and the setup guide is placed on the larger flatbed here. Opening the top cover reveals a foam insert, and inside the machine we find the accessory box. This includes tools, components, and some extras like magnets you can print on. Protective goggles are also included, which you should definitely use. Next step is power. Plug it in, turn it on, and then we can move on to the ink system. The ink cartridges come in a separate box. This machine uses 6 different UV inks: cyan, magenta, yellow, black, white and gloss. The white layer is especially important when printing on darker surfaces, and the gloss layer can add shine or even texture. Installing them is straightforward, just match the colors and slide them into place. There's also a cleaning cartridge on the side and an air filter at the front. Once everything is installed, it's time for the software. I started with the mobile app. The printer gets detected via Bluetooth, then we set up the Wi-Fi connection, install updates and start the initialization process. And this part takes a while, around 45 minutes. During that time, it's a good idea to install the desktop software as well, because for anything more precise you will definitely need it. Once the setup is done, we are ready for the first print. There's a protective sticker on the small flatbed, and that's what the test print uses. It's actually a smart solution, because you don't risk damaging anything during the first run. The app walks you through the process, asks for verification, and then we can start. And here is the result. Alright, enough warm-up, let's do what we are all here for, printing on LEGO. But first I wanted to test something else to get a feel for the workflow and print on something that is not plastic. I grabbed a small piece of wood and tried a simple print using the mobile app. You take a snapshot, place your design, in this case the RacingBrick logo, and send it to print. This is where the limitations of the mobile app show up. Precise positioning and scaling are much easier on desktop. Still, for a quick test it works fine. The print uses multiple layers based on the material settings. Here's 6 white layers and 1 color layer, and you can even see the exact ink usage, which helps estimate cost. After about 10 minutes, here's the result. It looks great, the colors are vivid, the white is bright, and you can still see the texture of the wood underneath. But that was a flat print, now let's try the elevated magic trick. We will use the desktop app, select the Relief Pet Magnet category, and add the photo of the newest RacingBrick family member. We can choose either a full 3D transformation or just the main object. For 5 credits and some AI magic, here is what we get. We can check it in 3D, and this is already the final result in my hand. The print is thick, you can see and feel the surface, and the effect looks really cool. We made another one, this time using the 3D comic transformation on a different photo. It also turned out pretty nice. And now let's really move on to Lego. The first part I printed on was this Technic panel, and of course the RacingBrick logo. This already shows two things. On darkest surfaces, a single white layer is not enough, and the printer handles the height difference quite well. With 3 white layers it looks better, but still not perfect. Then I pushed it further. One color where this is especially important is red. Printing white on red is problematic even in official sets, so here's a test on a red piece. As you can see, around 6 layers of white gives a properly solid base. I also tested black to show the thickness more clearly. Even a single layer is noticeable, but around 5 or 6 layers you can really see and feel it. Now, that thickness can actually be used as a feature. Here's an example. I took a photo with the famous Technic dinosaur at Lego House, and I used the relief printing feature. For this, I mounted multiple tiles onto a larger plate. This helps with alignment and also protects the surrounding area. Because if you print edge to edge, there will be a bit of overspray, so it's a good idea to use a sacrificial plate underneath. And this is the result. This is not just a flat print, it's actually built up in layers. You can see the original tile next to it. The result is a textured surface that even bridges the gaps between tiles. They are a bit difficult to separate. It looks interesting, but the flat version is probably more practical, clean, detailed, and the parts stay fully usable. This is the look you are aiming for. I also tested 1x1 tiles in different colors, including transparent ones, and they all work surprisingly well. If you flip them over, you can see the white base layer underneath, which is what makes the colors pop. Very cool results for such tiny parts. Next, let's go back to that embossed effect. There are built-in texture patterns in the software, so I tried this wood texture on a group of tiles. You can crop and position the pattern, and again, alignment could be refined further, but here is the end result. The tiles are still separable, but the surface now has a very clear texture. This could actually be really useful for custom buildings, adding details like walls, floors, or decorative panels. Now let's try something more complex, printing on a transparent element that isn't flat. This is an older windscreen piece. I built a small support to hold it in a stable position, as flat as possible. It doesn't need to be perfect, but it helps. And here is the result. Nice gradients, good coverage, and overall a very clean look. I actually borrowed this piece from a truck, and now it has a custom RacingBrick design on it. Next up, minifigure customization. For this, I made a small jig to hold the head in place, and added an original Lego head next to it as a reference for alignment. Then I imported my own design, positioned it, and here it is. Very sharp details, clean print, and you can feel the surface slightly, but visually it looks great. And of course, Minifig Me needed a proper outfit as well, so I printed a custom torso design, and now he has a cool t-shirt with an impressive amount of detail. Now let's look at something for Technic builders, printed tires. I created a simple tire design and tried printing it on this one. The first attempt didn't go well, because I forgot to adjust the white underbase settings, so everything looked thinner than expected. But after fixing that, here is the second version, and this looks really good. I used 5 layers of white, and the print sticks to the rubber surprisingly well. Visually, it's much closer to an official print than any sticker solution. Now, what about non-flat parts? According to the specs, the height variation of the surface should not exceed 2 mm. Here is this Technic panel fairing. I built a support to make the top surface as level as possible. At first glance, the print looks very good with full surface coverage, unlike what you see on official parts. The curved side here, however, shows the limitation. As the surface gets too far from the print head, the pattern quickly fades. Here's another panel that clearly goes beyond the 2 mm limit, and as expected, the result is not perfect. You can see some blurring on the edges. It also means I can't just refresh old sticker Technic models directly, at least not without some creative solutions. I will definitely experiment more with that. Now, what about durability? For normal handling, the prints are quite solid. They don't come off easily, and light scratching doesn't do much. It's probably not factory level, but for display builds it's perfectly usable. So these were my first experiments with the eufyMake one. And honestly, there are still many possibilities left to explore. I have not even used some of the accessories yet. There's a larger flatbed for bigger objects, which I tested briefly, but for small parts, the smaller one is more practical. There's also a rotary attachment with auto leveling, which is very interesting, although I'm not sure yet how useful that is for Lego. And there's even a laminating setup, so you can create your own stickers if needed. So this is not just a one-trick machine, it's a full creative tool. Overall, the experience has been mostly positive. Setup was smooth, printing is easy, and results are consistent. The desktop software has a few quirks, but nothing major. The smell is noticeable, so ventilation is important. And yes, this machine is quite an investment. This is definitely not something most people will buy just to print on Lego for fun, but if you are a custom builder who also runs a small business creating DIY products, this could be a very powerful tool. I can also imagine Lego clubs investing in one to customize their projects. For me, this is just the beginning. I want to explore this machine further, test more ideas and accessories, and see what really works and what doesn't. So now it's your turn. What should I try next? What do you want to know about the device? Let me know in the comments what you would like to see printed. Let's focus on Lego related ideas only, and please avoid copyrighted designs. If you want to know more about the specs, check the link below and let me know what you think about everything you saw today. Let's talk about it in the comment section. If you enjoyed this video, then please give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe with notifications, as more exciting Lego videos are coming soon. See you next time, bye bye.